Hello and good morning. It's 10:39 on my clock right now, and it's really chilly out here in the capital of Nepal, Kathmandu. What a cat can do. Great. Welcome to Kathmandu. So Kathmandu, as we like to call it here in Nepal. But it's most popularly known in the Western world as Kathmandu because a lot of hippies came in the 60s and the 70s, through the route of uh, from all the way from Amsterdam, and it was a great time. It was a great time to be alive, and you know, I wish I could experience some of that free spirit, or maybe it was just maybe it was the frustration and the awakening in a way of the systems that were in place in the Western world, and the young minds were had enough of it, and they wanted to revolt, rebel, and it's not easy against that kind of a system who has so much power and so much control. So they decided, fuck it all. Like, we're just gonna go chill out, go to Kathmandu, smoke some weed, have some fun, drop some acids, listen to the music, enjoy life. And here's what I think is missing from that spirit is when we can't ground ourselves. When that kind of a realization happened, it fucks up our life. It fucks our life in all areas of our life, because it fucks our views of education system, the political system, the health, all name everything, and it fucks it up. We kind of begin to understand and realize how this how all of this is programmed to keep us unhealthy, keep us programmed, keep us in this state where we are distracted all the time, and just be a cog in the wheel and forget about what we really want, what we what our souls is here to do, what we're here to create. Forget all about that. So when we revolt and we say, okay, fuck this shit, I understood it, let me just revolt and live without structure and live without any kind of like thought, critical thoughts. It just we saw exactly what happened during that era and how it all came to an end. It just became a fuck fest, and and we all know what happened, right? um, People had to come back to the society, and then they had to think about living and being a part of the society, because at the end of the day, we're human beings, and we have to live in a society. We want to live amongst people, and live in a healthy way, but it's not as easy as we think it is. So that's why I said on this topic today is why we are not happy, and this is exactly the reason why. It just came out so naturally through me. And I think it takes a certain level of awareness in a way. And I'm not talking about awareness of the world. Primarily, I'm talking about awareness of your own self, and the kind of thoughts and the kind of beliefs that have been inside your mind, and we don't really challenge them. We just go through them throughout our life, and we forget that most of the shit that we have in our head is someone said it to us. Politics, the media, our parents, the school, the society. Someone programmed it. Let me give you an example. Okay, let me give you an example of something that could be programmed, and we don't really give a shit about. Okay, okay, one of that is that uh, you go through school, you go through education, and you join a job, and you work in a 9 to 5, and you're going to be happy. And well, the facts say something completely different. United States, this is a research done by Gallup. I did some research on this. 80 to 85% are not engaged in their work, and there are various reasons behind that. But one of the primary thing is they're not enjoying what they're doing, right? And the culture and the boss and everything contributes to that kind of a statistic. Now, where I'm going out with this is we don't really question what we are here to create, and what kind of a value we have, what kind of what we are naturally attracted towards. What is it like? We just, what is it that attracts us like a bee is attracted to flowers? We never thought think about it. And there are some, definitely there are some lucky ones who fit into that structure early on, like, okay, genius in math, genius in science, okay, great, awesome, but you're still stuck doing, still stuck in the cog at the end of the day. That's there as well. But then there are definitely some rebels artists who have a different opinion, different way of looking at the world, and they question. I really question myself, like, is that really true? Will I be truly happy if I choose to forget about what I really want and just focus on just surviving, and uh, you know just letting what I really want, a life of freedom, a life of joy, and just forget about it all. I mean, who asked me to do that? My parents, the society. How are they living? They're living in the same pothole. But and then you find a few people who have, you could say, escaped that certain programming, or certain, you can call it the matrix. I like the word matrix, actually. And then you look at their life and how they approached it, and what were their values, what was that their thought process, and you begin to see how they kind of, maybe because of the circumstances, or because of the life they live, they break through that break through that matrix, break through that pattern, and choose to live a different life. And they are the ones we call weirdos. We call them uh, the outcasts. I can think of people like Steve Jobs, uh, Elon Musk, Andrew Tate, even in some of our yogis. I mean, you look at their life, and you'll be amazed at how they were not truly a fan of just reading a few books and getting a degree, and um, you know approaching life like that. Give me just a second, okay? So as I was saying, and we just have to look at their life, look at what was happening. There are a few stories in my mind. And I can even take the example of Yogananda. He didn't want to even finish his college. He had a different kind of a mindset. He had the he definitely came at it from a more spiritual perspective, but he knew that it was all a scam. And but even then, his guru, of course, his guru Yukteswarji, uh, he didn't want to skip that part, because at least to be relatable, you need to know that you need to go through that shit. And that's how Yukteswarji perhaps saw it. I cannot speak for someone like that, obviously, but the point I'm trying to make is there was something so much more important than just going to college and studying, and you know getting a job and fucking doing that shit. So that's what I wanted to talk about. And comment down. It's my first live, and I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I have that mindset. Definitely, I have that mindset, and I'm moving there. I'm moving up there, and I'm really grateful some for some kind of creators out there who are choosing to speak the truth, even though they get canceled. There's rare. That is a rarity, and people are out here selling their soul, and that shit is. I think that shit is. I know that shit is true, man. Shit has to be true, and that's how it is. Either you become an agent or you become a rebel. And we've always hated rebels, but when we have deeply looked into their lives, it has we come to acknowledge that it has come from a sacred place, and that gives them so much relentlessness pursuit of bringing that truth into the world, and they don't give a fuck about what others people think or whether people get hurt. Or the truth is like a knife, it destroys. I mean, it cuts through every bullshit. And the purpose of life was never really to cut and never really to destroy, but it was just to expose the truth. So that's a really funny way to look at violence as well. I mean, we think of violence as, this virtuous of like no killing, no violence, but I think violence is really necessary. And a true man of truth is a really violent man, because he's out here destroying. She's out here destroying. He's out here destroying. So it can't be a coincidence why we call Shiva the destroyer. Can't be. Can't be. Arjuna had to go into a war to destroy. Can't be. So that's another thing that I feel really called to talk about. There's a lot of myth surrounding these things about spirituality and being like this submissive little. I don't want to use the word, but that's how it is, man. I mean, but spirituality is really about speaking the truth, no matter what the fuck anyone thinks about it, and just going about it, man. Just doing what you need to do. And honestly, man, I'm telling you, this shit, it's taking me so much of going inside my own self and finding these creators out here who have been exposing this shit. And I think we gotta go into this journey together and go for it. Yeah, thank you for listening. I'm in the stream right here, and someday this chat is gonna be bumping, really bumping. I'll see you.